So hello and welcome students. In today's video we will learn about data structures in R programming. So what is data structure? Data structure is a particular way of organizing data in a computer so that it can be used effectively, and the idea is to reduce the space and time complexity of in different tasks. Data structure in R programming are the tools for holding multiple values, and R's basic data structure is often organized by its on the basis of dimensions like 1D, 2D, 3D like this, and ND, and whether they are they can be homogeneous and they may be heterogeneous. So there are two type of data structure, one is homogeneous and second one is heterogeneous, and according to these 6 data structure can be classified in R. These are vectors, list, data frames, matrices, array and factors. So we will learn about all these data structure and we will see how can you make these data structure in R programming and perform multiple operations on these data structure. So let's start with the first data structure, that is vector. If we talk about vector is an ordered data collection. So you can write this is ordered data collection. Second thing, the only thing here is the element of vector must be an identical data type. So one more point I can add, identical data types, element should be identical, and also you may say this is homogeneous. So how can you make vectors in R? Let's move to the programming window. Here you can see the console of R. You can use R Studio's GUI console, or you can configure your VS Code for running the script that have multi-line of code. So now right now I am using R Studio's default GUI. So let's start with making vector in R programming. Here I am creating a vector. So there are two ways you can assign values like this, or using equal to. I am using this. So the C function, as you know, if you are using R for earlier time, so you can know you know what is C. C function is used to combine or concatenate its elements or items. So you will use C whenever you make any data structure. We will use C function. So C, and now followed by I am putting some elements here like 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now the data structure contain homogeneous item of identical data type. So this is what a vector look like. If you want to print this elements of vector, you just type the name of vector, that is X, and then the vectors are printed. The elements of vector will be printed. So this is the way to create vector in R programming. You can also sort these vectors using the sort function. These are already sorted, but if you want to sort these, you can use sort and then put that name of the vector here, sort X. So these elements will be sorted. Now using access, how will you access vectors, elements of vectors? Like if you want to access the vectors like 2, if I put 2, so it will return 3. As you can see, X, and then in the bracket that is 2. So if you see the second number 1 and then 3, so 3 will be printed. This is the way to access vectors. Now we will move to list. How can you make a list? Let's see. So list is a, I first write down what I am list. The second data structure is list. The basic characteristic of a list is it's an order collection of object. Second, it may be heterogeneous. And also there are also one-dimensional data structure. A list can contain list of vectors, or list of matrices, or list of characters, or list of function, and so on. So it's a very complex type of data structure. Let's see how can we create a list in R. Let's move to the console. Here I am creating a list like student underscore IDs. Okay, now again using the C function, you can use equal to or the sign to assign the values. Here I am putting 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now so the list is created, student underscore ID. So here is the way to create a list, or you may use characters, strings, or anything in this. You can also join list, multiple list here. जाओ चले जाओ ऊपर चले जाओ, काट दूंगा, एडिट कर दूंगा. We can create list without using C function. You can use list function as well. So there is one more procedure to make a list. You can simply name the list name. I write here list underscore students. So here it's the name of list, and now I'm creating a list using the list function. Here I am putting names like AB, BC, CD, DE, and like this. So list is ready. Now I will print list of student. So here is the standard way to write a list. Here this is how the list is printed: A, B, B, C, C, D, and D. This is the right way to make a list. List is a collection of data which is ordered and changeable, and also you can add list items or remove list items. So I am putting one more value in this. Like if you want to append this list, you can simply write your list name list1, and then, or you can simply write append function, append, then the list name is list1, comma, that value you want to put in, like I want to put ZX, and where you want to put that value, means at what location, at what index. So I am putting it at after 2, unexpected symbol. What is happening here? Oh, I forgot to put a comma. Yes. Object list 1 is not found. Why? Okay, I created list underscore student. So that is the right name. I was putting wrong name, list underscore student. Right. So now you can see I append the list and I inserted ZX after 2, so means at 3 location the item is pushed or inserted. So this is how we create a list in R. We can also use loop through the list or join two lists. You can create multiple lists and you can join the list using C function. Like I create a list 1 and put some values using the list function. I am putting some values like A, B and C. So here is the list 1. Here is the name of list is list. Now I am creating list 2 using the list function. I put T, E and F. Here is the list 2. So you can also concatenate both the list and make another list like list 3, and using the C function you can concatenate both the list like list comma list 2, list and list 2, and if you print list 3 you can see the elements of list 1 and list 2 are there. So you can concatenate both the list using C function. The next is in this order. The next data structure is data frames. So what are data frames? Let's see. So point number 1 for the data frames are generic data objects of R Point number 2 is this is used to store tabular data. Like in Excel, MS Excel or in other these spreadsheet type of software, you use data in a tabular form. So you can create data frames in R just like that. You can save your data or store your data in tabular form. This is 2D and heterogeneous. This is all about data frames, or you can see these are list of vectors. The data frames are actually list of vectors of equal length. This is the actual way to define data frames in R. So how to create data frames in R? Let's see. For creating a data frame, you can use a C function again, just like you did in creating vectors. So I am creating some data frames. So we will technically create 3 vectors and then we will create a data frame merging all these vectors. So first create 3 different vectors and then we will create a data frame. For this, move to the console window. Here, name. First start with the name. Using the C function, I am creating a vector and putting some names. just like Yash, Manoj, okay, and put one more name like John. So here is one vector I created of that name is name. Second vector I am creating languages. So using the C function I am putting 3 languages, just like C#, and comma C++, okay, and comma Java. The second vector is completed. Now create another vector, that is age. For putting numeric value, we will not write them into column. Use like 33, 43 and 24. So 3 vectors are completed. Now we will create a data frame using these 3 vectors, a list of 3 vectors of equal length. Here you can see 3 vectors are created of equal length, and now we will create a data frame like df1. df1 is the name of our data frame, df1, and then data dot frame. Here is the function to create a data frame. Now name of vectors should be there, so name, language and age. Okay, so the data structure is, data frame is created, and now just write df1, or using the print function write print df1. Now you will able to see here a tabular type of data is created, where in one column there are names, and the second column there are languages, and then third column there are age. So the data are heterogeneous, where some are characters, some are character with number, and some are already or numbers. So this is the heterogeneous data type with two dimension of data. Okay, so let's move to the next data structure, that is matrices. In R are table like structures. And that can contain elements arranged in fixed number of rows and columns, and all the elements belong to single data type. You may say similar type of data type. R contain inbuilt function for creating a matrix. R has a function that is called matrix, or by using the matrix function you can create matrix easily. And elements of matrix can be accessed by providing index of rows and columns. As you can see, there are rows and columns. Here it is rows and columns. The arithmetic operations, addition, subtraction and multiplication can be performed on matrices with the same dimension. If you are having a matrix of 3 by 3, another one also is having as 3 by 3 dimension, you can use multiple arithmetic operation over these two matrices. So how to create matrix? Let's see on the console window. We will create matrix in R. For creating a matrix, we will use matrix function. A, like A, I am creating a matrix name A. Just write down the function of A, and then using the C function for the concatenation. Here I will write all the elements 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I added 9 elements, and then put a comma, and then define number of row using nrow function. Number of row will be 3, as you want to store 9 elements, so the matrix will be of 3 by 3, and number of columns like COL equal to 3. Now close the bracket, and then the matrix is ready. If you want to print the matrix, just write the name of the matrix A, and the matrix will be there. So we successfully created a matrix of 3 by 3 using the matrix function. There are few differences in array and matrix. One more data structure is array in R, and both look similar, but there are few differences. That array can contain greater than equal one dimension, but matrix can contain two dimension in a table like structure. Array is a homogeneous data type, and matrix is also a homogeneous data type, but there are few more differences there. It's like it's a singular vector arranged into a specific dimension if you talk about array, but if you talk about matrix, it's comprised of multiple equal length vectors stacked together in a table. Like you have to create or you may say arrays are the superset of matrices, and matrices are obviously a subset or a special case of array when dimension is 2. So array is the superset of matrix. Okay, so in after matrix we will learn about what is array. First, let me let me explain one more thing. How will you access the members of elements of matrices? So for using the elements of matrices, just put the name of matrix and then the index of matrix. Just you created 3 by 3 matrix of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you want to access this element, so index of the matrix, index of this element is 2, 2. So when you put 2, 2, it will return you 5. So number of at second row, second column, there it is 5. If you look, if you see this, so this and this, so 2, 2. So the element is 5, and here it is printed. It's very easy to access matrix if you compare it with the C or C++ thing. Now let's move to the array. What is array? Array are the data objects. If you talk about array in R, so array are data objects which store data in more than 2 dimensions. More than 2 dimensions, as I said, more than 2D. The second is array is n dimension. If you talk about more than 2D, so it may be ND, 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D, and D. If you create an array of dimension 2, 3, 3, for example, if you create an array of 2, 3, 3, so it will create 3 rectangular matrix of 2 rows and 3 columns. How much? 3 rectangular matrix of 2 rows and 3 columns. 2 rows and 3 columns, like 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 rows, 3 columns and 3 matrices, sorry. Like it will create like this. If you create 2, 3, 3, array of 2, 3, 3, it will create 3 rectangular matrix. So 3 rectangular matrix, okay, 1, 2 and 3. 3 rectangular matrix of what? 2, 3. So 2 rows, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 2 rows, here row 1, here is row 2, this is column 1, column 2 and column 3. 2 rows, 3 column and 3 matrices, 3 rectangular matrices. So it will create using this. Now let's move to the console window, and now we will see how can you create a matrix, array in this. For creating array, we will use array function. As earlier I already discussed the basic difference in array and matrices. I am creating an array now. Okay, so by using the C function, array, first I have to use array function and then C, and then we will put some value elements there. 8 and 8 is enough. Now put a comma and then mention the dimension. So you needn't to mention rows and column, you just put the dimensions here, like C2, 3, or you may say 2, 2, 2. If you have 8, okay, 8 elements are there, so we can create 2, 2, 2. Okay, so there it will create 2 matrices of 2 rows and 2 columns each. And now bracket is closed. Okay, now it is right. Now we will print the array A, and now you can see it create so it creates two matrices, that is M1 and M2 of 2 rows and column each. There are 2 rows and 2 columns in both 2 matrices. So this is how array look like. And if you want to access the elements of array as some same like you do in math in matrix, you can access the elements of array. The next and last data structure in R is factor. Factor is a very different type of data structure that is used to categorize the data and store it as in the labels, and these are used to store the categorical data. And the second thing, they can store both strings and integers. And the third thing, they are useful to categorize unique values in columns like true or false, male and females, and this and something like that. They are also useful in data analysis and statistical modeling. So if you talk about statistics, these are very useful. Now you can create factor using the factor function. So how a factor look like in R, we will see in the programming window. Let's move to here and we will create a factor. So I'm creating a factor, that is FAC1, that is the name of our factor, and for creating a factor we will use factor function and also use C function for concatenation. Now here I write male, again then female, and then just add one more male here, one more female here, male female, another one male female. Okay, one more bracket. Now the factor is created. If you print factor like FAC1, it will print like this. So you can see these are the factors and these are the labels. So there are 2 levels. It is identified in our list or in our elements. There are 2 levels, that these are males and females. Let's take one more example. Let's say Sachin, okay, Virat, or you may say again Virat should be identical, Virat, again Sachin, again one more you have to add Saurav Ganguly, okay, add Saurav. So as you can see, Sachin is here 2 times, Virat is here 2 times, and Saurav is here 1 time. So if you convert it into the labels, it will make 3 labels, whether the elements are repeated multiple times, but there are 3 labels. These are Sachin, Saurabh and Virat. So whenever you find any values that the frequency, when the frequency of the elements is not given, it's basically used in statistics when the frequency of the elements is not given. So you can categorize these elements according to the frequencies. So for this, in this situation, the factor is a data structure that is used. So this is all about data structures in R. In next video we will learn about the graphs in R. How can you use graphics in R? How can you make charts, pie charts, bar graphs and scatter plot? So this is the basic use of R programming is in statistics. So we will move to that direction. So I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned about data structures. If you like this video, please share this video with your friends and like this video, and also subscribe my channel. That will increase the reach of these videos to the students, those who want to learn programming.